Today, we're tackling a big question. How do you save money for a house while you're renting? Let's be real, rent prices keep climbing and it's frustrating. You see people around you buying homes and it feels like you're stuck in place. Everywhere you turn, someone's saying, you're just throwing money away. You're paying your landlord's mortgage. But let's get the record straight. That's not necessarily true. We're gonna break down the mindset you need, plus real strategies to speed you to the path of home ownership. If you're renting right now, you're not alone. It's completely fine to be on your own timeline. Other people's opinions shouldn't dictate your financial journey or the plan you've made for yourself and your family. I know it can feel discouraging, but trust the process. Get a plan in place and you'll get there. Now let's talk about the why. Why do we even feel like we have to save for a house in the first place? Maybe you see home ownership as an investment, or maybe you just want control over your own space. But a lot of times there's this pressure. It feels like everyone else is buying, so we start to think we must be behind if we're not doing the same thing. Then there's the fear of missing out. When you see people buying homes, getting married, starting families, or landing new jobs, it's easy to feel like you're not where you should be. You start questioning everything. Am I doing this right? Am I behind? If you're in that headspace, take a step back. That's external pressure, not reality. It feels real, but it's just noise. The key is recognizing it, understanding what it teaches you about where you are, and staying focused on your goals. And let's clear up a big myth. Renting is not throwing away money. Dave Ramsey puts it like this: renting is buying patience. You're not wasting money. You're buying time while you work towards your long-term goals. You know what is throwing money away though? Buying a house you can't afford, living paycheck to paycheck, drowning in debt, and then bam, your furnace breaks. You rack up credit card debt on repairs and furniture, and suddenly you're financially stuck. Renting doesn't drain your money. Bad financial decisions do. So focus on the big picture. Maybe in the short term, renting isn't what you want, but if it helps you get to where you need to be, then it's totally worth it. Or as Dave Ramsey says, live like no one else now, so later you can live and give like no one else. So now that we've got the mindset locked in, let's talk strategy. Saying I want to save for a house isn't enough. If you don't get specific, years will fly by and you look back wondering why you never saved a dime. So here's your action plan. Pick a target. Find a realistic home price in your area, not your dream home, just a smart first home choice in a good location. So you found that average property. Now it's time to figure out your down payment. This is where you need to decide. Are you going with the minimum or the ideal amount? I've got videos breaking down minimum down payments. You'll see a link at the top if you want to check it out. But here's the quick version. Minimum down payments typically range from 0 to 5% depending on your loan type. But ideally, you want to aim for 10% or more. Why? Because putting down a large amount gives you instant equity. Meaning if you ever need to sell, you've got a financial cushion. Plus a higher down payment means a lower monthly mortgage payment, which gives you more breathing room in your budget. Now let's break it down with real numbers. Let's say we're looking at a $100,000 house. For some of you, that's totally reasonable. In a place like Little Rock, Arkansas, where I live, you can get a solid 2 or 3 bedroom house for that price. And it won't be a total disaster. But if you're living in a place like California, I hate to say it, but good luck. A starter home there might set you back about $500,000, which means these numbers will look very different for you. For simplicity though, we're sticking with $100,000. So let's figure out what that down payment looks like. For 10%, you need to save $10,000. For the minimum 0 to 5%, you need between $0 to $5,000. And even in the lower market, saving $5,000 for a down payment isn't impossible. It's actually pretty achievable with a solid plan. But here's the thing, your down payment isn't the only upfront cost. Closing costs can add a few $1,000s on top. However, many buyers negotiate to have the seller cover part or even all of those closing costs. So for this example, we'll assume you don't have to pay extra for closing costs. Now, let's talk about timelines. How long will it take to save? At this point, you might be thinking, I want to buy a home, but I don't have the money yet. So what now? Don't panic though. This is a long-term goal and you just need a clear timeline to make it happen. So let's say your target down payment is $5,000. Now let's figure out how long it'll take you to save up. If you're saving over 1 year, $5,000 is 12 months, which is $416 per month. If it's 2 years, $5,000 divided by 24, that's $208 per month. You look at your budget and see what's realistic. If you can comfortably set aside $200 a month, then it'll take you 2 years to reach your goal. If you can save $400 a month, you'll have that money in just 1 year. This is where planning ahead makes all the difference. If you map out your savings strategy now, you won't be looking back 5 years from now wondering why you never got started. So once you've set a realistic goal, it's time to create a plan. Your plan should be simple. No need to overcomplicate it. You need 3 things: a target amount to save, a timeline to reach it, and a monthly savings goal that fits your budget. That's it. If you break it down like this, you'll have a clear path forward instead of just hoping it all works out. Number 2, paying off high interest debt first. Before you jump headfirst into home ownership, let's take a step back. Is buying a home right now the best financial move for you? Or should you handle some other financial priorities first? One of the biggest things considered is high interest debt, especially credit cards and personal loans. These can drain your bank account with sky-high interest rates, making it harder to save. Even car loans or leases can put extra pressure on your budget. Here's the deal. If you're already overwhelmed with debt, adding a mortgage, utility bills, maintenance costs, and all the little extras that come with owning a home is only going to make life more stressful. You might need new furniture, repairs, or upgrades. And if you're already stretched thin, homeownership won't feel like a dream. It'll feel like a financial nightmare. So before setting aside thousands for a down payment, consider using some of that money to wipe out high interest debt first. Now, I don't necessarily agree with the extreme approach to eliminating all debt before buying a home, but I do believe that paying off high interest debt, credit card debt, and unsecured personal loans should be a top priority before you take on a mortgage. Next, let's talk about where your money is actually going. You can't just say you're going to save $200 to $300 a month and expect it to magically happen. If you don't have a real plan, that money will disappear before you even notice. So how do you make it work? A budget. Now I know budgeting sounds boring, but here's the truth. It's the only way to take control of your money. If you've ever thought, I don't know where my money goes every month, this is why. A budgeting system called zero-based budgeting can change everything. With zero-based budgeting, every dollar you earn has a job. That means every single dollar in your account is assigned to something specific, whether that's rent, groceries, savings, gas, or even fun money. Here's an example. Let's say you have $2,000 in your bank account. Without a budget, you might see a balance of $2,000, go out to dinner and think, no problem, I have plenty of money. But when your bills are due later, you suddenly realize you spent way more than you should have. With zero-based budgeting, that same $2,000 is already allocated. $800 for rent, $200 for groceries, $100 for gas, $100 for eating out, $300 for savings, $500 for other expenses. Now, if a friend asks you to go out to dinner, instead of just looking at your total bank balance, you check your eating out category. If there's only $30 left, you know you can't spend more unless you take it from another category. That's how you actually control your money instead of wondering where it went. So, you've got a savings plan in place. Where do you keep that money? Here's one mistake you don't want to make. Putting your down payment savings into the stock market. Some people think, I'll earn a better return this way, but that's a risky move because the stock market is unpredictable. Imagine saving up for years only for the stock market to crash right when you're ready to buy. Suddenly, your down payment has lost value and you're back at square one. Instead, put your savings in a high-yield savings account or a money market account. These accounts offer interest rates at around 1.5 to 2.2%, meaning your money stays safe while still growing slightly over time. The goal isn't to invest this money, it's to protect it while you work towards home ownership. So at this point, you can actually consult your budget before making a decision. Instead of automatically saying yes to spending money, you might think, what if we just stay in and order pizza instead? That small shift makes a huge difference. Zero-based budgeting forces you to stay accountable. If you overspend one category, you can pull money from somewhere else, which means every dollar is working for you. This system isn't just about tracking where your money went. It helps you control where it goes. Now let's talk about ways to speed up your savings process. There are a million ways to save money or earn more income, but here are some of the biggest, most effective ones. You can automate your savings. If saving feels like a struggle, automating it takes the guesswork out of the equation. Set up an automatic transfer from your paycheck straight into a separate savings account, one you don't touch for anything else. If the money is out of sight, out of mind, you're far less likely to spend it. Even starting with $50 to $100 per paycheck can add up fast. And before you know it, your down payment fund will grow without you even thinking about it. You probably have hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars just sitting around your house and stuff you don't use anymore. Clothes, electronics, furniture, gaming systems, old phones. Sell it. Apps like Facebook Marketplace, Poshmark, OfferUp, and eBay make it easier than ever to turn your clutter into cash. A good rule of thumb, if you haven't used it in the last 6 months, you probably don't need it. Also, streaming services, premium apps, meal kits, gym memberships, these can sneakily drain your budget before you even notice. Go through every recurring charge in your bank account and ask yourself, do I really need this? If you have Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Spotify, Amazon Prime, any of that, it's easily over $100 a month, just gone. Try cutting out at least 2 or 3 for a few months and see how much you really miss them. You might be surprised how much money you can save. Now, you'd be shocked at how many bills you can negotiate down just by making a phone call. Call your internet, phone, or insurance provider and ask if they can offer a lower rate. Companies often have loyalty discounts or promotions, but they won't apply them unless you ask. If you have credit card debt, call your bank and request a lower interest rate. Many lenders will lower your APR just for asking, which means more of your money goes towards paying off your balance instead of throwing away interest. Remember, stick to your plan, not someone else's. Because at the end of the day, this is your journey. People love to say, you're just throwing money away on rent. You should be paying your own mortgage instead. But here's the truth. They don't know your financial situation. They don't know your goals, your timeline, or what works best for you. You have a solid plan, stick with it. Don't let other people's timelines pressure you into rushing into a decision before you're financially ready. So if you found this helpful, let me know in the comments. A thumbs up always helps. And if you want more videos like this, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.